One of the biggest problems we've found with people trying to do their own EFI installs is correctly identifying the signal wire for the oxygen sensor. Here we have a diagram that shows the oxygen sensor, and I'm pointing out the heater and sensor circuits. Right there is the sensor circuit with a little arrow, and the jiggly line that you see there, square line, is the heater. There you see the wire colors. I'm showing the wire colors for these first two sensors on the diagram. Okay, now in this next clip I've identified the two signal wires for my two upstream sensors, and I'm just stripping a little insulation away so that I can put an alligator clip on it and measure the voltage on them. What we're going to do is we're going to measure the voltage between the sensor signal wire and ground, and we're going to do that with the engine running. The engine has to be running in order to be getting a signal out of our oxygen sensor. In fact, it has to be warmed up a little bit before it'll give a reading out of that oxygen sensor. So warm it up for 30 seconds or so before you start. Okay, now we're into looking at the meter, and this is the voltage phenomena that you're going to see when you have an actual oxygen sensor signal wire. There's an analog display up at the top on this meter, but look at the digital voltage readout there. It's going down as low as 100 millivolt range and up as high as 900 millivolt range. In actual fact, the sensor is actually going below 100 millivolts and up above 1 volt, but the meter is not quick enough to catch it. Here's another meter showing the phenomena. It looks a little different with different meters, just depending on how fast they're able to refresh. Guess it would have been better to keep that in the frame a little better. Now we also have an analog meter that I wanted to show you so you can get a look at that. This is not very well scaled. It's the closest we could get with this little cheapo meter we had. This is a 10 volt scale, and we're only looking at a 0 to 1 volt, so it doesn't cover much ground. A lot of them can have a 2 volt scale, and then you'd see the meter going, clear up halfway and back to almost 0. But here you at least get a chance to see, what it looks like for an analog meter. Okay, this next clip shows a sensor that's downstream from the catalytic converter, and these have a very distinctly different phenomena. I wanted to show you this so you'd be able to see it and be able to compare it to an upstream sensor and its phenomena. I wanted to show you that downstream sensor because sometimes the documentation isn't real clear and it's hard to tell which wire is the upstream and which one's the downstream, and if you see that phenomena you can just know you don't have the upstream sensor, so you need to keep looking. Okay, so as you can see, there's a very specific phenomena when you measure your sensor signal wire with reference to ground with your voltmeter. We certainly hope this will help you with your own installation, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video.